Hi, my name is Coach John McCarthy with Star Athletes Online. I want to take a few moments to talk a little bit about the questions you need to ask yourself as a student athlete and as parents if you're interested in playing intercollegiate athletics. And there's a list of questions that are really important that you think through for quite some time. This may not be an exercise that takes 10 minutes. It may take a bit of your time. And as you're thinking these through, and after we complete this list, you may have some of your own questions that you should add to this exercise. Now I want you to think about this for a little while, the importance of these questions in helping to narrow your search down. And as coaches begin to contact you from different schools, you can refer back to this list. I encourage you to watch this over and over throughout the recruiting process as you're contacted by schools and as you're doing your research on schools. You can certainly watch this video over and over, or you can refer to the checklist which we have here on the website as well. Let me run through some questions. These are in no particular order, but they're questions for you to think about as a student athlete and as parents. First of all, are the schools that you're looking at, are they accredited by one of the 6 regional accrediting agencies? Check that out. Most are, but check out to make sure that they are an accredited college or university. What do I want to study academically? Does the school or schools that I'm considering, are they strong in that area? Do they have that major? If you're not real sure, you're looking at 2, 3, 4 different areas, do the schools that I'm looking at have those majors? And are they strong in those areas? What about career paths, job placement? How does the school help you after your academics are finished? How do they help you find a job? What's that look like? Is playing time, as a student athlete, is playing time important to you? Think that through for a little bit. How important really is playing time? Hey, you might have been a star athlete in high school, but understand that most colleges you're going to go to, everybody was a star athlete in high school. Think about the people ahead of you. If you're going to be a quarterback on a football team, for example, do they have a star freshman and sophomore quarterback on the football team already? They may not. Or is the star quarterback going into his senior year without a backup? Are you that guy? Think about that. Is playing time important to you? And think through as you study that school situation. How important is it for you to be in a winning program? Think about that. You can do your homework on schools pretty quick and understand whether the program's typically been a highly successful program on the courts, on the fields, or not. Or is it you and a few fellow recruits that are going to be the ones that have the opportunity to turn that program around from a win-loss standpoint? Is it important for you to be part of a winning program? Think that through. How important is the coach and the assistant coach into this process for you? You're going to be spending a tremendous amount of time with that head coach and those assistant coaches during your time. How important is your relationship with that coach, that head coach, those assistant coaches? This next one I think is really important. The teammates you're going to be playing with, no matter what the sport, how do you get along with them? What sort of values do you share or not share with those student athletes? Are they partiers and you're not? Are they into some things maybe they shouldn't be and you're not? Or is it a great atmosphere as you visit and get to know the student athletes? Do they fit really well with your values, with your morals? Think that through. Think about the amount of time that you're going to be spending with those fellow student athletes. Really important to get to know them because you're going to be surrounded by that team a tremendous amount of time. What about coach's style of play? Does it fit your style of play? If you're a basketball player and your player gets up and down the court, but the coach plays a style of play that sits back in his own and walks up and down the court, think that through. Does it fit your style of play? How about where the school's located? Does it matter to you whether you're in a big city, you're in a little city, you're in the country? Think that through. How about the location of the school? Take that a step further in terms of location. Does it matter if you're close to home? Do you want to be in a situation where your parents, your friends and family can see you play and you can get home on weekends or when you need to? Or does that not really matter? Do you want to get away? Questions to ask yourself. How about the living arrangements, the dining arrangements? To some, doesn't seem like a big deal, except for the fact that you're living there. It's your life. You're living in those arrangements every night where you're going to sleep. Are the living and dining arrangements important for you? And if so, make sure you remember to ask and do your homework on those questions. How about this? How about, does it matter whether it's a private school or public school? Does it matter if it's religiously affiliated or not? Does it matter if it's a big school or a small school? How about the way you learn? Are you okay with a classroom with 500, 600 people in a big auditorium? Or is it more conducive for learning for you in a classroom that's got 20 or 30 students? Some people thrive in the small atmosphere of 20, 30 students in a classroom. They get to know the teacher gets to know them. They're a somebody. Other people thrive when they're responsible enough to be at class, even if they don't take attendance and there's 500 people in an auditorium. Just other questions to ask yourself. What's important to you? How about athletic facilities? Some people find that to be really important. The facility that they're going to be playing in because of how much time they're going to be spending there. Is that important to you? How about attendance? Does it matter to you whether the school supports, the students support you, and whether there's 10 people at your games or whether there's 5,000 people at your games? Is that important to you? Facilities, environment at your games. How about this? And parents, I know this is going to be important for you. Is the school safe? Think about that. Is the school safe for your child to attend? Does the level of competition make a difference for you? Does it make a difference to you whether it's NCAA Division I, II, III, NAIA, Junior College, NCCAA, USCAA? Does that matter to you? Again, some people it does, some people it doesn't, but you need to ask yourself that question. How about the conference? You know, on the high level, a lot of people want to play in the SEC in football, the Big Ten in football. In basketball, a lot of people want to play in the ACC, the Big East, the Big 12, the Pac-12, etc. Does that matter to you, what conference you're in? How about scholarships? We have a whole section here on financial aid and scholarship money. We can check back on that video. I encourage you to watch that video, read that document about financial aid and scholarships. But how important is scholarship money to you? And think this through, and we'll touch on that in those documents and that video when we talk about financial aid. But think about this. At the end of the day, is it more important for you to get a certain amount of scholarship money, or is it more important at the end of the day what you actually pay coming out of pocket? I'll give you an example. You may say, my son or daughter received a $10,000 scholarship, whether it's academically, athletically, grant, whatever it may be, but the school is $40,000 a year, and therefore you still had to pay $30,000. Or is it a better scenario for you that your son or daughter is getting a $5,000 scholarship and gone to a school that's $15,000 and you're only paying $10,000 to go to school? I encourage you to really do your homework when it comes to scholarship money. Spend some time on the document in the video that we have here on this site when it comes to financial aid. And are there other factors for you that are important to you when it comes to the whole picture of choosing a school? Again, I encourage you to run through this checklist of questions, add any questions of your own, jot them down, and as you're connecting with schools and schools are connecting with you, continue to watch this or go through the checklist that we have here on the website. These are really important for you as a student athlete to be thorough in your homework, and these questions need to be answered by you and your family. They may be different answers than your friends, many may be different answers than others that are looking to play intercollegiate athletics, but you need to ask them of yourself. Once again, thank you so much for being here with us on Star Athletes Online. My name is Coach John McCarthy. Thank you.